5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 413 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I'm your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Thirsty Thursday. That's right. We got some NFL back tonight with Thursday Night Football. Really excited to break down this Atlanta Falcons Tampa Bay Bucks game for you guys. I do have a best bet here on the side, so it looks to be a pretty notable contrarian play here. Kind of a wheelhouse play for us, so have a full breakdown here for Bucks and Falcons. And then also a couple games lined up here in college basketball. One is a gross game where this team has a way worse one-loss record, but yet they're favored and have become more of a favorite. And then the other one is a nice little dog-to-fave line move as well. So 3 bets overall, 2 college, 1 NFL. You guys know the drill. Let's try to go 2-1, eke out a winning day. Now, because it is a Thursday, I want to mention that we do have our Rhythm Rundown show tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, streamed live on Twitter. Of course, you can always follow me at Josh_Insights on Twitter. We'll go live right at 6 p.m. I was actually talking to my buddy Cade Harper, my co-host, and he was like, hey, what games are you looking at? We're trying to figure out what we want to talk about tonight. It's going to be pretty much all NFL because really the only game upcoming for college, it's kind of a light slate, is that Army-Navy game, which, by the way, under 39.5. The line's down to 38.5, even 38. So I'll be rooting for an under in that one. But I sent this to my buddy Cade. I said, let's talk Falcons, Bucks, Bills, Patriots, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Packers, Panthers, Saints, Vikings, Cowboys, and of course, I'm sure we'll talk some player props as well. So if you want to get full breakdowns on those games, and we'll have our full and final best bet card for tomorrow's pod on Friday, you'll get breakdowns and have all the official bets. But look forward to seeing you guys hopefully tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, streamed live on Twitter. Now, looking back to our last night, guys, kept the good vibes going. 3rd straight winning day to start the week, 4th straight winning day overall, 2-1 plus 0.58 units. Remember, we had our 3-pack there in college basketball. As we mentioned, goal was to get 2 out of 3, and that's what we did. Although I'm a little annoyed because I was thinking we could get a clean sweep. Did have a couple great hits there. One with Nebraska going from at one point getting about 2 points to then laying 2 points or even minus 2.5. So that dog to fave came through. Nebraska absolutely rolled 90-60. Also had a great hit there with Marshall, another dog to fave where you open around a pick'em, or Western Kentucky minus 1.5 flip to Marshall minus 1.5, minus 2. So both of those came through. And then the only loser was Fresno State. Now I look at it one of two ways. On the one hand, we should have probably won that game because Fresno State was up 87-86 with like 2 seconds left. Guy on CS Northridge hits a 3-pointer. To make it 89-87, and then, again, you lose a game on a 3-pointer at the buzzer. What are you going to do? But I guess maybe I was a little bit nervous because that was a money line play for me, Fresno State. And remember, Fresno State at one point got down to, or even flipped and hopped the fence to like minus 1.5. Well, there's a ton of movement back towards CS Northridge. They closed at like minus 3, so that late movement did go against us. I was thinking maybe we could rob the bank and get away with it, but unfortunately the kid hit a 3 there late. But either way, guys, we'll take a 2-1 plus 0.58 unit night any day of the week. And let's see if we can keep our win streak going. So that being said, it's Thursday. That means it's Thursday Night Football. So let's talk about some Thursday Night Football action here for tonight. The Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's set the stage, talk line movement, splits, system matches, rhythm, juice reel. I'll give you my play for this one. So going into it, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Get your Amazon Prime locked and loaded. The Falcons come in 4-9, and man, have they really, really fallen off. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games. They just got beat up by the Seahawks 37-9. Didn't cover as a 7-point home dog. Bucks haven't been much better. I'm sweating the Bucks because I have them in a futures play to win their division, and like they're just falling off the map as well. And the Carolina Panthers are right on their heels, but they are still 7-6. However, they've lost 4 of their last 5. Just lost to the Saints 24-20. As a 7.5-point home favorite. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened with Tampa Bay around a 5.5-point home favorite. And this is a very clear public play in favor of the Bucks. Bucks are totally done with Atlanta. Kirk Cousins is in, Penix is injured. They've lost 7 of 8. Public wants nothing to do with the Falcons. Public also still has faith in Tampa Bay. Made the playoffs last year. They've been good since Baker joined. So you are getting right now 73% of spread bets at DraftKings, 75% of spread bets at Circa, laying the points with Tampa Bay. However, what have we seen across the market? Well, this game opened Tampa minus 5.5. I was kind of talking about this game yesterday. The line had gotten all the way down to Tampa Bay minus 4.5. Even some books touched as low as minus 4. So it was very clear that even though the public was hammering Tampa, that line was dropping toward Atlanta. Now, there has been some buyback yesterday to today. This line is back up to 5.5. So instead of becoming a true reverse line move play, RLM, where betting is heavy on Tampa, but the line went to Atlanta, this now has become a bit of a line freeze play to me. So I always try to think through the splits, the line movement. What does that tell me? Is it a steam play? Is it a reverse line move? Is it a line freeze? Is it a dog to fave? Is it a 50-50 line move? This would now qualify as a line freeze. So heavy betting one side, yet the line really hasn't moved. Yes, it got down to 4.5, 4. It's now back up to 5.5, but it opened 5.5 and it's still 5.5, even though 3 out of 4 bets are going Tampa Bay. So again, that tells me that there's some liability and movement, and really the movement has been toward either staying the same or moving toward Atlanta throughout the week. So it tells me we got a line freeze here. Sharp betting, hopefully with the sports books kind of being more concerned about Atlanta side, the contrarian side. They really don't want to give out a 6, it appears, which is a bit of a key number. But aside from the sharp line freeze, we are just a straight up contrarian play. Atlanta Falcons only getting about a quarter of tickets, only around 25% of bets in a heavily bet primetime game. The Falcons also match quite a few betting systems. So if we look at all these system matches, I got a bunch of them here on Atlanta. Primetime dogs, 23-20 against the spread, 53% this year, 2% ROI. Remember, we just had the Chargers as a primetime dog come through on Monday. They are 164 and 146 against the spread, 53%, 1.5% ROI since 2020. So they're not shattering any records here, but they've been profitable. But here's where it gets even better. If you isolate the primetime dogs getting 4.5 points or more, they're 88 and 63 against the spread, 58%, 12% ROI since 2020. So primetime dogs this year, historically, primetime dogs 4.5 or more, they've been winning systems. Then we look at dogs who missed the playoffs the previous year, playing an opponent who made the playoffs the previous year. Kind of the buy low, sell high, where public says, you missed the playoffs, you stink, I don't want to play you. You made the playoffs, you're good, I want to back you. But that creates a buy low, sell high in favor of the team who missed the postseason. Those dogs are 48 and 36 against the spread this year, 57%, with a 9% ROI. Now, if you remember when I told you setting the stage here, the Falcons just got blown out by the Seahawks 37-9. So for those of you who've been grinding, podcasts with me over the years, you remember this betting system, right? Dog off a blowout loss of 20 points or more. You lose by 20 or more. The next week, the public remembers you got blown out. They want nothing to do with you, but actually kind of buying low on those teams. They become very undervalued. Those dogs off a blowout loss of 20 points or more, which would match with the Falcons tonight. They are 16 and 11 against the spread this year, 59%, 13% ROI. And since the start of 2018, they're 137 and 106 ATS, 56%, with an 8% ROI. Short road dogs getting 6 or less. They've also been good this season, 40 and 33 against the spread, 55%, 5% ROI. They're 348 and 289 ATS, 55%, 5% ROI since 2019. So been pretty consistent this year and historically last, 6 years now at this point. Atlanta also is a divisional dog system match. Built-in familiarity, rivalry aspect, levels the playing field, benefits the team getting points. If you look at both teams coming off a loss, which is the case here, and it's a divisional game, take the dog. That's 84 and 62 against the spread, 58%, 11% ROI since 2020. Then we get into the, where at least one of the quarterbacks here, Baker Mayfield. Of course, we got Cousins going for Atlanta. Dear God, Cousins, can you play decent tonight? But Baker Mayfield, in his career, he's 31 and 28 against the spread as a dog. That's a 53% cover rate. But as a favorite, he's only 22 and 34 against the spread, 39%. Now, if you just look at since he joined the Bucs, if he's a favorite laying 4.5 points or more, he's 4 and 7 against the spread, 36%. So he's been pretty good in his career as a dog, getting points, not great as a favorite, and really not great when he is favored by 4.5 or more since he joined the Bucs. A couple cherries on top here. Not a huge rhythm edge. but I do have a couple system plays on the Falcons. One says the Falcons should be plus 5.4. The other one says the Falcons should be plus 5. So if you're getting the hook on the 5.5, again, doesn't say, Rhythm's not saying Falcons should be plus 2 or plus 3. Like, it's not a massive multi-point edge. But hey, around a 5-point game, that's a little bit of an edge there on the 5.5. And oh, by the way, our friends at Juice Reel have a 7%, nothing crazy, but a 7% sharp mush edge in favor of Atlanta, telling us the sharper winning players who have downloaded Juice Reel and synced up their books, they're also leaning Atlanta here. So long story short, guys, I'm playing Falcons. Really, my angle here is a very unpopular contrarian primetime divisional dog. That's an auto bet for me. So Falcons, can you lose by 5 or less? Let's go Atlanta. In terms of the total, I didn't play it, but I did just want to mention it has fallen a little bit. If you like the under, it opened 44.5. It was 44.5 under minus 120 earlier today. Now it's down to 44. Now it's down to 43.5. So this line is falling on game day. And I always respect game day movement. When big bets come in, limits are raised. Now, it's interesting. The splits look kind of weird because at DraftKings, 49% bets, 51% dollars on the under. But circa 73% bets, 92% dollars on the over. However, primetime unders, they've been pretty good. Historically, this year again, they're 27 and 19, 59%, 12% ROI. Since 2022, 128 and 90, 59%, 12% ROI. And then outdoor divisional unders, 24 and 20, 55% this season, 5% ROI, 323 and 272, 54%, 5% ROI since 2017. So I'd lean under just based on the game day movement. It is falling, and you do have some, primetime unders, outdoor divisional under system matches. But my one bet here, guys, took the Atlanta Falcons plus 5.5. Again, very unpopular primetime divisional dog. Next, let's go over to some college hoops because it's kind of a small college hoops slate. I was a bit surprised. There's only like 8 games overall, but I found a couple that were kind of in our wheelhouse that match and remind me a lot of both, Marshall and a little bit like Nebraska last night. So the first one is an early game, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Green Bay, and it's weird. I always just thought they were Ooey Pooey, IUPUI. Now they're IU Indianapolis. I don't know when that happened, but anyway, just kind of weird. They were always Ooey Pooey to me because I've been staring at live odds pages since 2011, and it was always Ooey Pooey, but whatever. But this one's interesting because both teams are not great. Green Bay is 4-7. They've lost 2 straight. They just got rolled by Wright State 86-58. Not much better with Ooey Pooey. They're 3-8 on the year. They actually, I want to say they started off decent. Or no, they've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their last 6. Just got beat up by Youngstown State 78-55. So both teams losing records. Both teams just got beat up in their last game. But it's pretty clear where the market is moving for this one because we open this game with Wisconsin Green Bay listed around a 2-point road favorite. And even though it's a low bet game, it's not an added game extra game, but it is a low bet game. We've actually seen this line completely flip to Ooey Pooey. So it's gone from IUPUI getting 2 to now IUPUI -1, -1.5. So right off the bat, that jumped out to me. Dog to fave line move. Now what's also interesting is that the public, even though it's not the most heavily bet game of the night, they're actually leaning pretty hard on Wisconsin Green Bay. The Phoenix, by the way. They're getting 65% of spread bets. So the public is Green Bay, yet the line slipping toward Ooey Pooey. Tells me smart money, reverse line move, fade the trendy dog in favor of Indianapolis. Now, I'm going to mitigate some risk. Again, I like to moneyline short favorites. What was it the other night? That game that would have pushed or lost on the money line or on the spread, but it ended up winning. Who was that? McNeese State the other day. So same thing here. I got a pretty good -108 at Ballybet. I'm in Massachusetts, by the way, and I actually just opened up an account at Ballybet because they are in my state. And I'm like, I noticed in my app they had a better line than everyone else. And I'm like, why haven't I opened an account there? So just a reminder, you're always available to open up more accounts. But I got a -108 money line. Now you're looking at around -110, -115. But a couple of the reasons to like IUPUI with a contrarian RLM, fade the trendy dog to fave line move. A little bit of a rest advantage, nothing huge. But they're playing their second straight home game. They last played on the 6th of December. You have Green Bay playing their second straight road game. So maybe a little bit of a fade of Green Bay and a backing of Ooey Pooey. But I'm going to bank on the offense of Indianapolis here. They're averaging 87 points per game, only 72 points per game here for Wisconsin Green Bay. They also have the better effective field goal percentage. It is 51% versus 49%. Better offensive rebound percentage, 28% versus 23%. They shoot the three better, 32% versus 30%. And oh, by the way, 9% sharp mush edge from Juice Reel on Ooey Pooey. But what I really like is our friends at Rhythm have a Green Star recommended smart signal on Indianapolis here. And they have Indianapolis minus 2.1. And again, they're minus 1.5 in the market. So not the sexiest game in the world, but a sharp dog to fave line move. Green Star from Rhythm, sharp mush from Juice Reel, better offense, rest advantage. I took Ooey Pooey on the money line. Again, minus 108, but looking like minus 110, minus 115. Pretty short number. Last bet of the night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is an official added game, extra game. So low bet matchup, but hopefully we'll be able to get a winner for this one. So 7:30, we have UT Arlington, the Mavericks, facing UT Rio Grande Valley, the Vaqueros. Now going in, we have UT Arlington 6-3 on the year. They had a 2-game win streak come to an end. They lost to Arkansas State 83-63. It was their second straight road game. Meanwhile, UT Rio, they're only 3-5 on the year, and they just snapped a 3-game losing skid. They won at home against Austin P, and they beat them 63-50. So, what have we seen across the market? Well, this game opened UT Rio minus 2 at home. Now, let's stop right there. Isn't that fishy? Why is UT Rio, who's 3-5, I know we got to incorporate home court advantage, but they're 3-5. UT Arlington is 6-3. Why is the 3-5 team favored over the 6-3 team? Fishy, right? If this was me 15 years ago, first betting on sports, I'd say Texas Arlington all the way. A dog, better record, getting points. But as you've, like myself, bet long enough, you sometimes smell. You have that indicator, that barometer, that radar for stinky, fishy things that don't make sense, and you realize, oh, I want to be on the fishy, stinky, gross side that doesn't make sense, and that's UT Rio. And we've actually seen the line move further toward UT Rio. They went from minus 2 up to minus 2.5, and some shops are juiced like it may go to 3. So the team with the worst record opens as a favorite, has become more of a favorite. I went money line on UT Rio. I got a minus 135. It's available at both DraftKings and Caesars, but shop around. Some other books are a little bit higher, like minus 140-ish. But DraftKings spread looks good on Rio. 54% bets, 75% dollars. The DraftKings money line, 56% bets, 70% dollars. Ken Palm has Rio winning by 2, so not an edge on laying a 2.5, but hopefully an edge on just winning the game. They have the better offensive efficiency, 205 in the country versus 250th. Effective field goal percentage, 51% versus 49%. And notice this, a big edge. Hopefully the threes drop for UT Grand Valley. 37% beyond the arc, only 28% for Texas Arlington. 2-0 at home for the Vaqueros. They're at home tonight, second straight home game. UT Arlington is 2-2 on the road, and they're playing their second straight road game. And I noticed this, a big, rest versus tired, which I put a lot of stock into, like, football or, hockey, where it's a very physical sport and some time off can really help you. But in college, sometimes it's kind of hit or miss, but sometimes, the extra time off, I look at it as it's good if you get more time in the gym, but also maybe you're a little rusty. So, like, for example, UT Arlington hasn't played since December 2nd. They've been off for 9 days. Rio last won and played on the 7th. So, it's a 9-day versus a 4-day rest advantage. But again, maybe the rest is too much here. Maybe I'm making too much of that. But I'm like, man, they haven't played in a while. So coming off a blowout loss, second straight road game, who knows? Maybe it's a fade spot. But overall, guys, fishy, 3-5 team opening as a favorite against a 6-3 team, becoming more of a favorite. I got the UT Rio Grande Valley Vaqueros on the money line at minus 135. So UT Rio money line, Ooey Pooey on the money line, and hopefully Falcons can cover the plus 5.5. So that about does it for episode 413 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. This is the part of the pod where we wrap things up, and I start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding in the arena with me every day through the ups and downs, the hot, the cold, the good, the bad. But we're always waking up every day with a positive attitude, trying to attack a challenging betting market and hopefully cash some tickets. So I think there's something to be said for that. But if you do enjoy the pod, if you want to help me grow the pod, there's something very easy you can do to make me happy. Just give it a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes. Click the follow button, recommend the pod to a friend, retweet the pod when I tweet it out. That would all be really cool and very awesome of you. Next, if you enjoy this style of betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on line movement, bet splits, system matches, trying to make bets with our head and not our heart, tracking the betting market. If this style of betting has really kind of spoken to you, you kind of see the value of it, or maybe you have someone in your life who could use some sports betting tips from a data-driven perspective, and more importantly, it's the holiday season, so I know you got to get your uncle something. You have no freaking clue what to get him. You know what you should do? You should get him a book. Not just any book, but you should go to Amazon.com and type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook and blow your uncle's mind how to bet the NFL from a data-driven perspective. If you also want to pick up my first book, The Everything Guide to Sports Betting, that would also be awesome. And you can bring one or both of them to the sports book. I'll sign them for you. I'll buy you a beer or a ginger ale. We'll sweat some NFL and college hoops tonight. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My two favorite sports betting apps, Rhythm, for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. Reminder, 6 p.m. tonight, we got our live stream. And then also Juice Reel. So many great features. First off, if you want to tip your podcast hosts, you want to give your buddy here a little Christmas bonus, you know what you should do? You should sign up to get the All Systems Go Best Bet Picks from Juice Reel. It costs $4.99 a week, $5 for 7 days of plays, less than $1 a day. And again, you go out to dinner, server takes care of you, got a nice smile, refills the water glass when it's running low, takes care of you, you give them a good tip. Well, if you enjoy the pod's free, tip your podcast host in the form of getting those All Systems Go Best Bets from Juice Reel. You also get the Sharp Mush indicators, arbitrage plays, shop for the best line futures. Make sure you give Juice Reel and Rhythm a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, do you have a live odds page? If you don't have one, you need one. Super important. Got to be able to track the market. First off, you got to know, what are the games being played today that I can bet on? What are the start times? I need live scoring once the game gets going. I need live in-game wagering odds that progress and update after every play. More importantly, I got to know what the lines opened at, what they are now, pull up the line history, identify late steam when odds get lit up in red, pull up the line history, see all the moves in between, and also get the best number, which is super important. And you can do all of that with Odds Logic. So all you got to do is go to oddslogic.com/Josh123. That'll get you a 7-day free trial and 50% off your first month of service. Lastly, have you downloaded Novig yet? Well, if you haven't, now is the time. Novig is a sports betting exchange. It is not a sports book. So as a result, you're going to get way better juice prices. And that means you can win at the same rate you would at a DraftKings or FanDuel, but actually make more money because you're risking less juice. Instead of having to pay minus 115, minus 120, you're getting a plus 105, minus 106, plus 102, minus 102. For example, I'm looking at Novig right now. Falcons are plus 5.5 at plus 103. Bucks are minus 5.5 at minus 105. Totals 43.5 over plus 100, under 43.5 minus 104. So again, you can get better prices just because you're not going up against the house, you're going up against other bettors. So download Novig, and when you fund your account, put in Josh123. That'll give you an extra $25 to play with. So that about does it for episode 413 of the ASG Pod on a big Thursday. As always, guys, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, at the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash, in my neck of the woods on the border of Nashua, New Hampshire, and in Massachusetts, or out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays, jumping in the stadium swim pool when you catch a big ticket at Circa. You're going to walk up to me. You're going to show me a nice Marshall Thundering Herd ticket, a nice Nebraska Cornhuskers ticket. Whatever you do, don't show me Fresno. Stinks. Winning night, you're always happy, but stinks when you lose at the buzzer. You're like, man, could have been a sweep. But either way, we'll take a 2-1. So as always, guys, coming off a 2-1 or a 1-2, a 3-0 or an 0-3, a winning night, a losing night, a good week, a bad week, a hot stretch, a cold stretch. Again, this is sports betting. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. We just got to ride the wave, not get too high when things are going good, not get too low when things are not going our way. Stick to the model, stick to the blueprint, discipline with our bankroll management, making bets with our head and not our heart. If we can do that, find those system matches, games that fit our model against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Thursday night, everybody. I'll see you at 6 p.m. on Twitter. Remember, at Josh_insights. So just go right live from my Twitter page. And also, I'm going to join my buddy Patrick Maher, as I always do, at 9 o'clock on Mad Dog Sports Radio, VSiN Live tonight. So good luck, everybody. Have a great Thursday night. I'll be right back at it tomorrow for episode 414, a big Friday edition of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Good luck, everybody, and let's go Falcons.